Finding other leaders in the world that fired up and are passionate about supporting others on their journeys is what really ignites the enthusiasm within me, you guys. And you guys all know that because you listen to me quite often talk about how passionate I am, and especially to find others that are just as passionate. And today I have a friend on who is just as passionate. Tricia Dycka is going to be joining me today. Hi, Tricia. How are you?
Hey, how are you, Teresa? I'm really excited to be here.
I am really excited you're here because you know what? For me, it's exciting because I find that like attracts like, and I sometimes share this that this is how you recognize like where you're at with your magnetism and where you're at as far as inside too, because who comes around you. And so you and I connected recently on social media. You've got an amazing Facebook social media group and presence. And when we met each other, I was like, oh, she's awesome. And you're like, oh, you're awesome. So we're like awesome here.
Yeah, yes, 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 yes.
So I would love to find out a little more about your journey, Tricia, and how you came to being right where you're at right now in this moment in time. And you can share whatever you want to share about in your journey. We're open. This is an open space, girl.
Okay, so I'm going to actually share something I really have not shared on social media. Not yet anyway. It's going to come out in pieces, but I'm going to share it here with you guys because why not?
Why
Why
not?
not?
Great place to do it, girl. Come on out.
Yeah. So for years, I was an empath coach and I followed the gurus who said, and guys, this is just to say, do what resonates with you. Please do what resonates with you. So I followed the gurus with their typical take your laptop and go and have your business do this and have your clients calls while you're traveling. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And it was like, I hit a lot of blocks. I hit a lot of blocks. And I had my clients, I was working with my clients, and I never really felt fulfilled. I loved my clients, I helped my clients, they had great transformations, but I wasn't feeling fulfilled. And I was like, all right. And I actually was like pinpointing it in at myself, saying there's something wrong with you because look at everything you have. Everything on the outside looks so perfect. But I was happy, but I wasn't overly passionate or joyful about what was going on in my life. And if you find a level of frustration, and if you find a level of what is wrong with me, maybe there's more to my world than I'm seeing, I beg you to stop and just give yourself some time to actually be in that. I would push it away. I would push it away. And finally, one day, I woke up one morning. This is going back into January. And I'm a big, big believer of subliminals, of hypnosis, of anything that helps us heal and create the next level and to continue moving forward. I think it's so important that we do this. And one of the things for me is subliminals, is hypnosis. And I woke up one morning, took my speaker from underneath my pillow, and I put it off. And I'm like, I'm not really seeing the results I want. I'm not really feeling like so much has changed. Yes, the needle is moved, but I feel like I should be getting bigger and better results. And I remember putting the speaker down, and this is where I stopped. And this is where I asked questions of the universe. I was like, and it was not a why me kind of nonsense, because that's really putting us in a victim mode. Unless, of course, we're asking questions like, why is the universe so vast? Or, really pay attention to your why questions, because why questions can put you into a downward spiral of why me? Why is this happening to me? And instead, I went with the what can I do differently? What do I have to change? What else is possible with this for me? And I remember just going about my day. And next thing I know, if you are paying attention when you ask the questions, you get a lot of responses. And that day I was like just writing like, what is this? And I remember thinking, I think I'm crazy because these answers are so out in left field for me. Like what the hell? Like that's all I kept doing all day. And quite frankly, the next day too. So I was like, I'm writing and I'm questioning my sanity. I'm questioning everything I've received. And I was like, okay, so what does this mean? And I actually started to look at my life as a whole. And I realized the business I had created and the way that I had created it was not what I wanted. And that was like, oh boy, what are we going to do now? Like, what is my next best step? What guidance do I have to look for here so that I can keep moving forward? And I was like, it's okay. So you created a business that you were okay with, that brought in money, that you gave transformation, that you enjoyed your clients, but it's not the thing you're meant to do. Because one of the things, and I'm sure, Teresa, you asked yourself this too, is how can I affect millions of people? How can I take what I'm doing and create change for millions, not just a few?
The many, not just the one. But the one does help the many. But yes, I'm with you 100%, Tricia. Absolutely. And, you
Yeah.
know, I think that what comes to me as you're talking about it is the journeys we all take. Oftentimes when people do come to these critical places where they recognize either the relationships change or the jobs change or I've changed, and that therefore it's really about us, right? We've actually changed, and therefore the job is no longer fulfilling, the marriage or the relationship's no longer fulfilling. And then it's moving, it's taking that action step to move, because most people, and I'll tell you, a couple of years back when I got divorced, I heard from several people that said, my God, I thought of doing that, but I could not have done it. Not, you know, kudos to you. I mean, it takes some cojones, right? Some balls sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So what was your action step that took you into moving into what was more fulfilling for you?
I shut down my business. I shut down some groups I was in. I removed everything and everyone. And the next step was do research. I got the answers as to why the subliminals weren't working for me, why things weren't moving forward for me. And I was directed, do the research. And I started doing research. And when I used to hear, when you are in your passion, when you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, you won't even recognize the time going. And I was like, I think these people are crazy. Let's be real. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And I had days where I was going until 9 o'clock at night. And I'm like, oh my God, it is 9 o'clock at night. And the reason I knew is because I was constantly on the computer reading and doing notes and doing all of these things. And I'm like, wow, my eyes really hurt. And I'm like, oh my God, it's 9 o'clock at night. So to me, this is really important. And it took me a long time to figure it out. When you are truly on your path, when you are in your passion, when you are doing the thing that you are called to do, time flies by. You are excited all the time. We're human beings. We're going to have our days where things are not so great. Your mind gets in the way of saying, are you crazy? Do you really think you can accomplish this? You don't have the degrees. You don't have the experience. You don't have the XYZ, whatever you want to put in there. But yet you are driven to continue. You were driven to keep going. And one of the things that really, really sat down with me is I would sit here and be like, okay, I would be like, what's next? What's my next step? Where do I go? Who do I connect with? What do I have to do? It was like these amazing questions. And I used to hear too, the better the question, the better the response. But it's true. the more you really focus in on the question, and you can start with like little simple questions, and then it continuously gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And it's phenomenal how your intuition works. It is phenomenal how the universe is giving you this guidance, and however you want to call it, your intuition, the God within, your higher self, source energy. People get stuck on the words, but I beg you, just whatever works for you, just start asking questions, and then give your time, give to actually sit in the question without, here's the caveat, without dwelling on the question. So let's say you go to ask some questions. This is like, go about your merry way. Go clean the house, go food shopping, go take care of the kids, go do laundry. And it's almost like I asked the questions, and I think part of me didn't really expect a response. So with that, I didn't have expectations of waiting for a response. And the other thing I want to point out, and please, Teresa, I want your 2 cents in this. When you do it from a level of desperation, the answers are really not coming from source. It is when you're doing it from this place of, okay, I'm going to ask these questions and see what happens, and I've got things to do, and I'm going to keep moving forward with my life for that day.
Absolutely. 100% agree with you. Yeah. When we move from, I'll call them our concepts or our beliefs that we've been programmed to, from our parents, from the environment.
Yes.
Absolutely. Other energies can come in that are not your higher self, or perhaps are not your personal team of support or angels or whatever you want to call them that surrounds us on our journeys. I 100% agree with you, Tricia. Absolutely. Yeah. So it is key to move from that love vibration or the passion or whatever you want to stimulate inside, enthusiasm. And then, like you said, like, let it go. And the hunches, insights, impressions that I found for myself, they show up and you're like, holy crap, right? Numbers or words or insights, or it's amazing. Is that what you found too?
Oh my God. And I have a perfect example of that. Yesterday I was out driving, and I don't know, I got stuck in the rabbit hole of my mind, when it just starts chitter chattering about nonsense. And I don't recall the exact question. I know it wasn't my best frame of mind. And I look up, and I heard look up. So I look up, the license plate in front of me is 444. So then I hear look right, and on the right side is a trailer pulling a boat saying faith. So if
awesome.
if that's not signs, I mean, and it's really about us being mindful of every step of our day, of where we're going, of, allowing that guidance to come in and be like, knock, knock, knock. Stop with your mind. It's just going on a rampage where you don't need it to go. And here is my response to you. Here is my direction to you. And this is always, my intuition's always been growing. It's something I've always worked on, but these past few months have been, how many people really do want to shut down their businesses and start over, and they won't? Or, like you said, leave a relationship, whether it's family, friends, significant other, and they won't, because they are so stuck in that mindset of, I need to have this. This is the only thing that's going to happen for me. And it's like, we are so programmed by society, by TV, by the people that we're hanging out with, and we don't actually give ourselves a freaking break. Just give yourself a damn break and be like, all right, I need to do this. And some of these steps that we take will scare the ever-loving shit out of you.
And they should. And that's good. Because isn't that like a sign to me? That's a sign of like, okay, I'm on the right path. Like if it's something that's going to be out of my comfort zone, oh, heck yeah, let's do it. Oh yeah. Onward.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely.
And that is a little bit of fear, a little bit discomfort, a little bit of like, you are crazy, I don't know what you're doing, but I'm going to do it anyway, because it jazzes you up to such a degree.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I found too that, and well, I'm sure you could probably agree with me here, is that, and if you don't move, the universe will help you move. Right, Tricia? And sometimes it's like a push, a shove, and off a mountain. Here's a disease, here's a cancer. I'm serious. Like that's how shift happens. That's how shit and shifts happen.
Oh, yes. Oh, God, yes. And I actually do have a story with my health where it was pretty much, here you go. And I went, oh, shit. And it was the biggest transformation that I have ever done. So whenever I get that fear or that, are you crazy? I will go back to that point in life and in my time where I was like, so you want to stay where you are with the level of frustration and that level of blah and that level of, ugh, like, I don't feel fulfilled.
Right.
Or the universe will help you with the 2x4 occasionally, or a health diagnosis. And then it pushes you to really go outside your comfort zone, because our health is paramount. People talk wealth. Health is your wealth. Yes, it's money. Yes, it's everything else. But if you don't have your health, everything else is secondary. It really is.
Absolutely. 100% agree. And I think through the COVID and all the things we've been through the last couple of years, that more and more people are understanding that, I mean, all this material stuff and even our journeys, like all that, we have to have our health. That is key. The health, the body, the healthy body, enabled to, really move forward in what we're come to do and what we're here to experience. And so I 100% agree with you. So Tricia, let me ask you a question about where are you at today? So how do you support people who are on their journey searching?
I actually help people because I created a product, and there are consultation services with that, but this product is about changing our beliefs, because our subconscious rules the show. We can say we want this many friendships, or we want to go here, or we want to travel there, or we want to do this, or we want to accomplish that. And if our conscious and subconscious battle one another and our actions are not in aligned with it, it doesn't happen. Or we'll take 2 steps forward and go right back to where our belief system is comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
So I created a product that actually I use people's affirmations, and I put it into a subliminal, which is nature sounds, and I've done a lot of research on alpha, delta, theta brain waves and what works best where. And then my clients give me their own affirmations. So subliminally, they're hearing themselves. And
Oh, that's so cool.
It's so cool.
That's so cool. I love it so much, because that's even more powerful than so I've done one before with a hypnotherapist lady, and I did it for a month. Now they really worked, but they weren't my words. They were her saying it to me, which it worked, right? It worked for me, but that would even be more powerful to have my own voice coming, hearing that every single day.
Yes.
Ooh, that's really cool. So how did you come up with this? Like the training you've had and stuff?
That was the day that I was listening to and I religiously listened to subliminals. I was listening to them every night. I was listening to hypnosis during the day and meditations and affirmations. And I'm like, I don't get it. I'm moving the needle, but it's not where I want it to be. And that's the day that I got a lot of downloads. I was told to start doing the research. My father's a brain surgeon, so it works out perfectly.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So it really worked out. And I was like, I never even thought like I would go here. I didn't think this was not even a blip on my radar. So when it came on my radar, I laughed. I'm like, really? This is what you want me to do? Like, really? And I
Mhm.
did. I probably sat for about 2, 3 days, and I was like, this is nuts. Like, and then I took off with it, and everything lined up. I create the tracks.
Mhm.
I do all the creation. I create the tracks. I pick not the music. I pick the nature sounds.
Mhm.
I pick the binaural beats. I put them together. And then what I've been doing is I've been taking, especially for the nighttime one, it has to be subliminal. So when you're going to sleep, you're really focusing on the ocean sounds or something else. And during the day, what I have found is alpha and theta, depending on where I'm placing it, people love listening to themselves. So I'll actually do it where they actually can hear themselves at a low level. And it's like, yes, it's no longer that generic, I'm going to find my soulmate, or I'm going to be so self-confident in this. And it's their own words, because now they're being taught, what do you desire out of life? What results do you want? And let's create those affirmations based on those results and put it in a track.
Wow, super cool. So is there like, what's the process that they go through to, to work on that and work with you with that?
Once they make the purchase, they then get an email, and then I go over in a video. It's about a 10-minute video explaining, like, there have been people that sent me their affirmations, and they have said, I am not easily defeated. And I'm like, our brains do not see not. So you actually created an affirmation. So I actually talk about words not to use and what to use, and how it has to be present tense, and how it has to be something that lights you up and excites you and resonates, and you feel it. When you say it, you're like, that's it. That's the desire I want, because now that's got the energy behind it. It's got the emotion behind it. And then they record it, their voice, on a wave file, email it to me, and then I implement it in whichever track that they've picked. So people have come back. One woman said, I've totally shut down my business and started something else. I'm like, okay, all right, I
You're
guess
like,
that's
it
a
worked.
thing here. Yes, but they're trusting themselves more. Their clarity, their production is skyrocketed. Some woman said to me, I'm not productive. I do everything not to be productive. She goes, I put this on and I just get so much accomplished. I'm like, wow. So
That's
I'm
super
getting
cool.
amazing, amazing feedback. And the best part is I can reach millions. And the best part is you're reprogramming your beliefs. You're reprogramming it to something you truly, deeply desire. And that, to me, lights me up. That, to me, excites the hell out of me, because now, instead of being told, oh, things are not moving because of your mindset, or things are not moving because you're not doing the action, it could be that it's our belief system that is deeply held in our subconscious. And once we start shifting that and doing what resonates, the action steps behind that are totally different, as is the energy.
Amazing. And what I love about it too is, I've had a lot of people come on this podcast and share, and I've not had anyone that has done that does subliminal messaging and subliminal creations for their clients. So to me, that's really cool. And also, there's so much these days about the brain health, about changing the synapses of the brains, the way it works. And so it just makes sense to me, and it's super cool your dad's a brain surgeon. Hello.
Yeah, right. But yeah, it's all about creating new neural pathways. The possibilities are endless. There are so many and it's about being very mindful of our choices and mindful of what comes into our environment internally, because that is what we externally put out. So if
Absolutely.
we're internalizing, I don't know, the commercials on TV or some horror show, or these things, that's what you're going to be vibrating out, and that's the energy that you're putting out. And it was interesting, somebody said to me, I wake up in the middle of the night and I scroll, and I said, you're scrolling because you want looking for a dopamine effect. And I'm like, you don't scroll at 3 o'clock in the morning. Figure out something else that's going to work for you, because the phone should not be the first thing that's picked up. The phone needs to be put out of your eyesight. And a journal, or having some, like I have, when I wake up randomly in the middle of the night, I will go to my affirmations and start replaying them in my own mind, and I go back to sleep. It's like,
Right.
what are you doing to get yourself there? We are so programmed to get up and run, and we're starting our day without even actually giving ourselves the time to set the intentions of the energy of the day, of what we want to happen, of who we want to be, who we want to become. And it's the next thing you know, it's 7 o'clock at night, and where did the day go? And where were you mindful? Because a lot of us run on mindlessness.
Ooh, that's a big word. Mindlessness.
Mhm.
Yes, totally agree with that. So let's talk a little bit about I want to talk about your Facebook page and your Facebook Live, creating lasting changes. So
Mm.
you've got, that's such an awesome Facebook podcast that you do. And so
Mhm.
talk a little bit about that and about some of the guests that have come on and what you've experienced by having that. Because I came on there, I loved it. And so I noticed you
Mhm.
have it. It's amazing. So
Yes, it's organic conversations. It is about sharing nuggets of wisdom about creating lasting change, which is an ongoing process, but it's stuff that my guests give that can be immediately implemented. When we were talking that day, I had somebody come to me and said it was an amazing conversation and they loved it. So
mm,
it's, again, reaching out and affecting more people, more people's lives with other people's perspectives and other people's thoughts and beliefs and the things that worked for them, because what worked for me may not work for you, may not work for somebody else, but that person loved it and it works wonderfully for us. So I, I I'm really excited about it, and it's all different topics and they're all organic, and it's an all natural type of conversation, and people share what is most meaningful and what has created that lasting change in their lives. So I'm excited about that, and it goes live on Facebook, and you can reach that person that I do speak to, as well as people get to ask questions. People get to comment below, which is really exciting when they do.
absolutely. I can tell you from being a podcaster 4 years that that's the one thing missing in a typical podcast is the fact that interacting with other people and
Mhm.
communicating. And yeah, so that's a big deal because otherwise you kind of feel like you're alone a lot of times,
Mhm.
even though we're not. We're like,
Yeah.
you can see the stats, right? They're from all over the place, but you're like, well, where are the people? And so, but then of course, I don't know about you, Tricia, but I found that a lot of people, I mean, more people are silent than that come forward and actually say something or make a comment. And that's okay, right? I mean, because that's just where we're all at. But having people comment or, in more even than just saying like on YouTube, like and subscribe. Yeah. Okay. But how about who's out there listening? Like a real, getting a conversation going, getting a real, human body responding back to what you're doing. And like you're saying, really going, hey, this is something I could change my life, or this is something I really need to hear today. Now that's priceless.
Yes. And that has happened, and people are so grateful, and I'm loving, because it's your personal life, it's personal growth, it's business growth. We grow in so many different ways, and we create that change in every aspect of our lives, and actually one area then catapults into another area, which then goes into another area. So it is the domino effect. You change one thing, whether it's your business or personal, and it still becomes a domino effect. And when I have guests on there, and I just, again, it's what they're sharing. They are sharing what has worked for them. They are sharing their ideas and their ideologies, and you never know whose perspective that day will be changed.
Absolutely. And to me, that's a win-win-win. So it's a win for you, win for them, and win for spirit, or a win for the other person. Maybe it's a quadruple win. There you go.
It's a
So
quadruple win. It really
it's a
is.
win to the fourth power.
I love that. Win to the fourth
Yeah, that
power.
part, but that's going to be a good one. Win to the fourth power,
Yeah.
because it's true. Like you're saying, there's so many ways to resonate with something, or people won't resonate with something, and and offering different. That's why even with this podcast too, I have different people come on because it's a win for all of us to share, our insights, our wisdom, what we have going on. How do we create our path, because people, they enjoy and love hearing about, how other people have put things together for themselves, because it gives them a spark, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it really does. And I absolutely loved when you pay attention to your intuition, when you really pay attention to your intuition, there is a level of peace that is profound. That it's like, oh, okay, I got this. I may not know the how, but I know I got this.
And that you're not alone.
Yes.
That's a biggie, because I think a lot of people, and for me, the fear leaves, right? Like, I'm not alone. I don't have a fear of dying, because I know there's no death. It's just, we're just transforming our, one body to the next, or one place to the next. But yeah, so those bigger pictures, those universal truths and those understandings on either it be your intuition or on a soul level, whatever, just are so inspiring, because it really gives a sense of peace.
It does. And I like how you brought up about fear and realizing you're not alone. And even when we die, we just move on. Our essence is still here. Our essence is still, I love that you said that, because I think that's really important too.
Absolutely, because especially as we all age, and that's the one thing we all know, that there's going to be an end. So for all of us, right, at some point there's going to be an end, and just having that, ability to have peace within that, knowing that, yeah, okay, however it ends, I never end as a soul, like you never end, Tricia. Like, we're all eternal souls of, I believe, of one. We just come down in different representations, different variety, like a different variety pack, right? Like, we're sprinkled all over the place, like confetti. We're all confetti, but but we all come from the one. I mean, we're just all, energy. So yeah, I think that to me is really a way to give people peace and understanding that as we move through these journeys, especially as we get older towards the end, knowing that, because like Tom and I are talking today, I'm like, damn, I probably don't have 50 more years, because I'll be 56 this year. I'm like, it's weird when you start thinking about, like, and then my mom's, she's 80, and she's like, how many more years do you have? It's kind of an interesting inquiry and thought process of, like, I only have so much time left, so I got to get this damn thing going. Right, Tricia?
Oh my God. I actually had a conversation with my mother,
Mhm.
and we were talking, and I said, listen, I'm 53, and I'm going to tell you, if this does not expand me or grow me or make me happy, I'm going to move on much quickly than I would have done 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Now that you see that there's 50 years, maybe not.
Right.
So I'm going to focus on everything that's going to make me happy, and the impact I'm going to leave, and how I can engage in a deeper, more connective way, because it's almost like this feeling of I have things to do. I'm going to do them, and I'm going to keep moving forward, because this is where I want to be, because death can be scary, or death can be the next step. But until I'm at that next step, I'm in this human body, and I want to experience everything I can.
Absolutely. And I think what the fear around death really is, how is it going to happen?
Yes.
That's what I hear from, like, my mom said the same thing, like, I don't know how I'm going to die. And I get that, like, so I always say, well, manifest it, like, seriously, like, put into plans. Okay, God, universe, whatever. This is the way I want to exit. And I have heard from people that they've had, like, parents that have said, yeah, I'm going to die this way. And they did. Like, you can manifest or not manifest whatever you want in this lifetime. But that to me is a biggie, right? Like, yeah, when I'm ready to go, okay, for me, I just want to go to sleep. So I'm good.
Yes. It's that expectation, it's that trust, and it's that surrender to the higher power, that this is what I want, and this is what's going to happen, and that's it. Instead of stressing yourself out, how is it going to happen? What's going to happen? I find that I'm like, all right, I want to go to sleep, and I'm okay. Peace out.
Peace out.
Peace out. I'm ready. I'm good. But I think
Exactly.
too, a lot of people stop growing, and I think that adds to it. But I think once you are constantly growing and you're constantly getting involved in things, especially that light you up, it's a whole different way of living and being that does not, that's there. But it's like, no, I trust that I've got many, many years, and I trust that this is how it's going to happen. And I trust this is the way it's going to be.
Just setting that energy, right, Tricia?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's talk a little bit about how people can get in touch with you. Like I've already mentioned Facebook. You're very much on Facebook. You've got a great presence on there. But how's another way that people can get in touch with you?
The easiest way is Facebook. Send me a DM through Facebook or my website, which is triciadycka.com, that you can get, in touch with me there. On Instagram, which is triciadycka.com, Spotify, YouTube, again, triciadycka.com.
Easy. And all that will be in the show notes. So thank you so much, Tricia, for coming on today, honey. It's been so much fun talking to you. You're such a light.
I adore you. I'm so grateful that you asked me to be here today.
Same here. Ditto, ditto. So again, listeners, all the information will be in the show notes. You can check out all the links to find Miss Tricia and get on one of her amazing affirmations and subliminal messages, and for yourself that you can help sleep and help maybe with some issues you got going on. And until next week, and now we'll be back again next week, please remember that life is too short to not be enthusiastic about your unique journey. To keep the enthusiasm going, please like, subscribe, or comment below. We would love to hear from you.